I was a child during the 1960s, which was a really tumultuous time to be growing up in America. African Americans were fighting for their rights. Hispanic Americans were fighting for their rights. Asian Americans were treated abominably in our country. There was still rampant anti-Semitism. It was really scary to be a child. But once a week for an hour and see a vision of the future in which an African American woman could be an officer on a starship, an Asian man could drive a starship, a Russian could sit on the bridge of that starship and work together, work for a captain who was from Iowa, and gave me enormous interest in the future.
When I was growing up, we really didn't see many Asian faces on TV. We were invisible, really, in the media in America. So for a young Asian American, it was hard to find a role model, hard to find a hero that had the same face that I did. So it was incredible for me to turn on the TV and be able to see someone, an Asian American man, who was playing a strong, positive role. He could drive the starship, he could fight. He was someone that all of the Asian Americans I knew looked up to.
He has worked hard to support the U.S.-Japan relationship, not only through his wanting to share the Japanese-American experience, but also because of his ancestry. So he was someone that, in his own way, through arts, through culture, has been a real role model and a connector to the people here in Japan.
When George Takei came out publicly as a gay person, one of the things he said that really made an impression on me was that prejudice against LGBT people is similar to racial prejudice, and that it's against just basic human decency, and that it's against the principles that America stands for. And that really made an impression on me.
George Takei, when he was a young child, was treated unforgivably badly, really, by his own country. Soldiers with rifles and bayonets fixed to the rifles showed up at the door of his house in Los Angeles, arrested his whole family, took them to stables to sleep for several nights, and then moved them to a prison where they spent the rest of the war and were treated not as American citizens, but as people who were somehow not deserving of our constitutional rights only because of their ethnic background. And it would have been easy for him to give up. But instead, when the war was over, his family went home to Los Angeles. He went to college. He got a degree from UCLA. He earned a master's degree from UCLA, and he became an actor.
George Takei has been really successful with social media. He's got over 7 million likes on Facebook and over 1 million followers on Twitter, which is absolutely incredible. And I know that I get a good laugh from his posts almost every day. He's got a following that's really involved and really committed to the topics that he discusses online.
Well, as I access Facebook every day, most of the posts from everybody are just filled with, I went to this party, I did this, but I feel like whenever I get to George Takei's posts, he figures out creative ways to try to express his opinions, like whether it be for, gay rights or whether it be for, internet neutrality. They're just extremely relatable. Even if I didn't know, the whole, what happened in the whole Star Trek series, like his posts are like sort of organized to fit, anybody. So
Asian Americans, I think, are still underrepresented in the political scene in the U.S. So to see someone like George Takei go into politics and take on the difficult issues and actually take a leadership role, actually attempt to provide a voice to contribute to the political dialogue in the United States was inspiring. And I think that is one of the main reasons I wanted to go into government and aspire to a position of leadership in our government as well. And I'm sure that I speak for millions of other Asian Americans when I say that.
And George is really a Renaissance man. He has reinvented himself and has been able to now, with an upcoming musical about the Japanese American experience, find a way to share that story to millions. So he's someone who I really admire and have certainly learned a lot from, but know his passion and his belief that he can make a difference.